Hey everybody, it's Thursday, it's 2:30. Let me just share this video to our OAC group. All right, it's Thursday, it's 2:30, it's time for Thursday Thoughts, and usually this is Pastor Terry greeting you on a Thursday afternoon, and he's actually off today, and so I'm kind of filling in. And yeah, it's a beautiful day here in Okotoks. The sun is shining, it's warming up. It's starting to feel a little bit like spring. And yesterday was March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day. And I've always been a little bit confused by St. Patrick's Day. Why a day like that turned into such a big deal. Everybody wears green and talks about shamrocks, and there's traps that are made at schools to catch leprechauns. I know when our kids were a little bit younger, that was something that they would often do, is go on a little leprechaun hunt and set traps. And so there's this whole event around March 17th. And if you have any Irish heritage, I guess maybe it's a reason to celebrate being Irish. But it's just an interesting day. I don't know why people make such a big deal of it. And so it just kind of got me thinking a little bit today, being the day after St. Patrick's Day, and just some of the little traditions about St. Patrick's Day. And thinking about St. Patrick himself. So the saint that the day is named after is a guy who is credited with taking the good news about Jesus to Ireland. I'm not sure exactly where he was born, but somewhere in the United Kingdom, in Britain, and had a vision to take the good news of Jesus to the people of Ireland. And so really a day that's kind of gone way beyond who the person was that the day represents is just kind of an interesting day, kind of got me thinking. And it got me thinking a little bit about looking ahead to Sunday. And so this Sunday, we're continuing in our series, The End of the World as We Know It. We've kind of been talking about the reality that Jesus will return, and been looking in the book of Matthew, chapters 24 and 25, talking about the signs of the end times and the reality that Jesus will come back, and some of the words that Jesus spoke to his disciples in sort of preparation for that. And so you might be wondering, like, why did I start by talking about St. Patrick's Day, and what does that have to do with this series that we're in? Well, this Sunday, I'll be preaching from Matthew 25, verses 14 to 30, and it's a parable. Jesus told a story about the kingdom of God being like, and he goes on to tell this story about a master who distributes his wealth to 3 different servants. And the servants take the wealth, they're called bags of gold in the New International Version. And so that's sort of the connection to St. Patrick's Day. You know, often St. Patrick's Day, we talk about gold coins and pots of gold at the end of rainbows and things like that. Well, this Sunday, we'll be looking at a story that talks about a master distributing bags of gold to his servants. And kind of the question, what do his servants do with the gold that they've been entrusted with? And there's 2 different reactions, 2 different responses that we see. And I don't want to give too much away before Sunday. So I'll just encourage you to read ahead, if you want, Matthew 25, verses 14 to 30. Read this interesting parable. In other translations or previous translations, the bags of gold are often called talents. So you might be familiar with this parable of the talents. The latest translation of the NIV talks about the parable of the bags of gold. So why don't you read that parable before Sunday and come prepared to listen and to hear Jesus speak to us as we open his word and look at this interesting story and try to glean, what is it that we can learn from this? And maybe begin to be thinking about a question that I'll lead us into. And the question would be, what's in your bag of gold? What has Jesus entrusted with you, or entrusted to you on his behalf, that you could put to use for his kingdom plans and purposes? That's a little bit about where we'll be going. So you might want to think ahead on that. And so that's Sunday. And I'm just going to show you here, I'm standing in our church sanctuary. And like I said, the sun is shining outside there. You can see the windows glowing. There's a bunch of our seating here. We're beginning to reach capacity, so we are allowed to have 15% of our fire code capacity, which is roughly 74 people that we're allowed to fit in this room. And the last few Sundays, we've been getting pretty close to that number. Last week, we actually had a couple people sitting out in the lobby because we were hovering right around the 74 mark. And so what I would do is just encourage you, if you're planning to join us in person, please register in advance. You can do that off of our website. If you go right to www.okalliance.ca and follow the link to joining us in person, you can register there. Or if you have our app, we have an OAC app. If you don't have it, you can download it from the Apple Store or Google Play. And in the OAC app, you can register for Sunday morning worship as well. But either way, please register in advance. And ideally, if you could let us know by Friday afternoon, then we can print off our list of who's attending. We do have people who register often over the course of the weekend, but the later you wait, the less guarantee that there is of a spot here in this space. Like I said, we have had to use our overflow a little bit. And if our attendance continues at this rate, we're planning to move towards 2 services beginning Easter Sunday and continuing on after that. So it would be 9 o'clock and 10:45. And we will offer Kids Zone at the 10:45 service only to begin with. So if you do have children planning to attend Kids Zone, that would be the service to choose. So for the next 2 weeks, 1 service, 10 o'clock. Please register in advance. From Easter Sunday on, we will have 2 services, 9 and 10:45. We will continue to ask you to register in advance. And if you're not joining us in person, we live stream as well. Every week we do that. We live stream to Facebook Live and also to our website. I believe we might be on YouTube now. I'm not actually 100% sure, but you can live stream, catch the live stream for sure on Facebook or our website. We'd love to have you join us, whether it's in person or on live stream. So that is about it for me for today. Thank you for joining me for Thursday Thoughts. Hope to see you Sunday at 10 a.m. Have a good one.